Next up, hey guys, we're back. So now we're going to talk about domestic violence. I'm CJ.
T-Fed?
Okay. So what made you want to talk about domestic violence, Tanya?
Um, During this quarantine, I was looking at on Instagram and seeing some of people's memes, what they put on there, and someone has said, domestic violence right now is at a uptime.
It tripled.
Yeah. So abuse in general. I've never experienced it personally, but I do know people that have, and they feel like they're stuck. And not necessarily, if you haven't lived that lifestyle, then you wouldn't know what it's about. What I want to know is, why do they stay? Knowing that these things aren't good, and knowing what that person is about, why do us as men and women feel as though that we have to take on that type of abuse? Because domestic violence is bad, but also verbal abuse is even worse. And I mean, some people can say things that'll cut you like a knife, and it's things that you will never forget. So, like I said, I know a few people that have been through domestic violence, and it's the same story. It's the same story. It's oh well, they're going to change. They're not going to do it again. Yes, they are. 9 times out of 10, it's going to happen again. And then what happens after that? Because you decide you don't want to leave, one of y'all not going to make it out alive. Or some people have success stories. But then you got to go into hiding and all that. Why?
But a lot of these women, see, the thing about abusers, they know how to
control things.
They know how to prey on their victim, and it's stages to it. It's a grooming stage. It's removing you from your friends and your family stage.
Isolating you. Yeah.
It's telling you that you're better than your friends and you shouldn't associate with them. You're better than them. You know what I'm saying? And then when they bring you in so tight and they show you this love that you feel like you never ever had before, then they start to fucking lay down rules on you. You know what I mean? Limit your activity, what you do outside of work. You know what I'm saying? Make you question things about yourself and your self-esteem. Make you feel like they're the only ones that's going to love you and be there for you. So once they have that mind, once they take that mind, it's hard to get out of it. But by the time they get to that stage, you're already like 6 months in by that point. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people feel like they put 6 months in, they don't want to turn back because they don't want to hurt the person's feelings. A lot of times these men and women, they do a lot of emotional blackmail on you. You know what I'm saying? Like make you feel like you can't leave them, like you're hurting them. You know, everybody leaves them. Nobody wants to be with them,
or blame it on their past. Maybe it's something that happened in my past.
Right. So they get caught up there. But the thing is that that's the best time to get away since the beginning. When you start having children, that's when it makes it hard. When they got you to the point where you're financially reliant on them, then that's when they really have the upper hand. Once they get you financially wrapped into their shit, and you can live without them financially, that's when they got you. That's when they're gonna take full advantage of you. But it's a sad thing. I know I grew up in a domestic violence household. I know that my grandparents, before I was born, it was domestic violence going on in their relationship, and I know that growing up with my mom, she was the aggressor. She was the male version, basically how people think it's always the man that's the aggressor. My mom was the aggressor. And so, growing up in that kind of household, watching it, it's a very traumatizing thing to watch as a child. But I've also been almost involved with it. I mean, it was leading. I was in like probably like the second stage of it, and then I had to like break away from the situation. But it took time. It took preparation. Like I had to execute a plan to get out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it was hard. But a lot of people are just not as strong mentally. They feel like they don't have any options but to be with that person.
That's sad.
It is sad.
You have options. And I know it's easier for us to say, easier said than done to walk away.
Right.
So somebody I know very personal. I had asked them, well, what is it? Why did you stay? Why you never said anything? And everything that C said and what we talked about, exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Finance, sex.
Sex too.
Sex can be overwhelming and all that
right,
stuff.
Because it's like a honeymoon, then you fighting, and then you sexing, and it all becomes all part of the routine. It becomes all part of the addiction of it all. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to get back to that sexual climax from, after everything that you've gone through with a person, in a violent way. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
Okay, so we ask ourselves, when is it enough? With all that being accountable for and everything, when is it enough? A black eye, a broken jaw,
right?
Anything broken, or you wind up in a hospital,
right?
And then you have caring people that sit there and take the time and say, "What are you doing?"
Right?
Like you got kids, or whatever the case may be, you got a good job. Like, why you don't have to put up with this and this, that, and the third. And it becomes to be redundant because you don't understand that you're trying to be that friend or associate to try to bring that person out of it, and you really can't because they are the ones that are stuck. And there's nothing that you or I can say to them that's going to make them change their mind. For some reason, they just feel as though they in it to win it, and I don't understand it.
They're brainwashed.
Never will.
You're the bad guy. He's the good guy. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that you say is going to be convincing. And he's probably already put, thoughts in her mind.
Hers,
Yes, his or hers. The perpetrator, whoever it is going to be the one. I'm calling everybody a perpetrator basically because it's everybody perpetrator.
Yeah.
I'm calling him a perpetrator because that's what he is. So anyway, he's going to convince her that you, the friend, doesn't want her happy, doesn't want her in a relationship, doesn't want her in love. You know what I'm saying? They make you feel like everybody is against y'all too.
Always
like
got an opinion.
Y'all in it together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so the closer that they pull you in, the more violent they become. You know what I'm saying? Like if they feel like they're losing any kind of control, the more violent they become.
Like we seen Ike and Tina. Tina was a bad bitch because Ike ain't eat no cake, okay? But he made her eat that cake. Why? Control.
He had all leverage.
He put her on her feet.
He owned her
ownership.
Financially, he owned her career. He owned her name. He owned her.
So we see why she stayed. But if bring it into reality, why do you want to even put up with it? I will never, and it hurts to see people go through that. And
especially the children.
Yeah, and especially if you got kids, but no, 9 times out of 10, they don't do it.
What you mean?
Around kids. Not all the time.
Okay.
Not all the time. They try, especially if they're their own kids, but if they're not their own kids and they want to look like the good guy, like I don't do nothing wrong. Oh no, but they wait till the kids go away or go to sleep.
Then they hit you in your neck.
They hit you in your neck and they give you that grandma pinch church thing there, like shut up.
I know when I was,
you know what I mean, type shit.
My mom fucked us up in front of, fucked that man up in front of everybody. Everybody. We watched it. I mean, me and my brothers still had front row seats to asses getting beat in the house. Men, I'm talking about strong men who were correctional officers. And, you know what I mean? Like strong men that were not punks. But when they came home in that house, they got their ass beat. And it is what it is.
And it's so weird to hear a woman beating on a man, but it's possible. But
it was possible.
I mean, I'm not
but
saying
then the thing
it wasn't,
is this,
but
when the police came,
I mean?
because my mom was a woman, the man was always the one that was questioned as he was the perpetrator because of the stereotype that is the male. So as soon as the cops show up, my mom get into full routine. She's the victim, he's the aggressor, and they always go with the male. So back in my time, they did. Back in the day. I mean, it's kind of still to this day because it's hard for people to believe that men are abused.
No, some people really like it though. They'll just be like, well, what else am I going to do? And it's my baby dad, and it's this, and come on, girl.
Yeah, they accept it. They just think that is the only person they can get, and that they don't want nobody else to have that monster. They want that monster to themselves, and they take all the abuse that person brings: the verbal abuse, the emotional abuse, the sexual abuse, the physical abuse. Because if that person's abusive, they're abusive to you in all areas.
All areas, every level that you can think of.
They're going to go out and cheat on you.
Yep.
They're going to mistreat you. They're going to come home and accuse you of doing shit because they out doing shit. That's what they do.
And the crazy thing about it, the abuser, it's really what's going on with them. It don't have nothing to do with you. It's them. It's what's inside of here, what's going on with them.
They feel like they have no control in the world.
Yeah, chemically imbalanced, mental issues.
Right.
daddy issues, mommy issues.
Right.
It's always
They
with
might have been abused themselves. They
them,
might have watched
exactly.
their mom get beat. They might have watched their dad get beat. But a lot of times for men, when they go out into this world and they're not seen and they're not heard and the world is walking on them, they come home and they take it out on the person that's closest to them. And that's unfortunate. And that's that woman that's in the house.
Yeah, if they can't read or something, it's always men are. They don't show a lot of emotions, and you have to really, really hurt them for them to really. I mean, you have some men that are in touch with their feminine side. I mean, you just got some that just really don't give a fuck. Like they don't care. They don't care nothing about what you saying to them. They'll give you that long stare, like, "What the fuck you talking about? I don't care.
Right.
Get up and make my dinner." You don't do it. It's sad.
Yeah.
I'm not. I wish. Lord, oh, I don't know how y'all do it, but God bless y'all, cause.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I can't be in no. I wouldn't be able to be in no domestic violence situation. Like I said, when I felt that it was getting to a domestic violence, like it was moving in those stages in their direction, I was like, fuck this. I got to get up out of here. Like I'm not gonna be caught up in no bullshit like this. I can't live in a house where I can't have peace. You know what I'm saying?
Walking on eggshells.
Yeah, I can't go to work, bust my ass at work. You know what I mean? Get directives at work, then come home and get directives and get fucked up in the house. Nah, man, I'm not doing that.
Because the narrative of it all, somebody's going to wind up in the hospital or
Right.
6 feet under.
But a lot of times people are afraid to be by themselves. They are terrified. Yeah. And a lot of times these men will tell you that there's nothing else out there for you. This is as good as it's going to get. Because you ain't shit as a woman. You ain't got shit to offer. That's what they tell you. And that ain't true. But that's what they brainwash you to believe that you don't really.
Yeah, and then they tell you how to what to wear and don't put makeup on because that person don't want you to be no one to look at you, or you say to him, "Don't go get no haircut. What you shaving your beard for?" No. Yeah, why you wearing them gray sweatpants? What you got them spandex on for?
Damn. Let me see your phone.
Oh, we're not gonna talk about phone thinking.
Let me see your cloud.
Oh yeah, that cloud thing too. Like
Cloud gets you in trouble.
You got way too much time on your hand if you got to go through every nick and cranny of a phone. That's just doing too much. Go read a book.
Doing too much. At the end of the day, for the most part, you cannot control another human being.
You cannot.
You can't.
Even though you know we watch the stories of sex trafficking and all that shit. Yeah, well, you know, if you ain't getting paid for it, don't get controlled, sweeties. I shouldn't have said that. That wasn't. Yes, I did say it. Look, it is what it is. I mean, we live in a terrible world.
What you say now? How you saying it?
No, I'm not saying.
If you're not getting paid for it, don't control by it.
That's right. And what's my other motto? I got a lot of feedback from that second name.
No, don't say it again.
That, yep, sure did.
But I think the foulest part of it is when the women that be be getting fucked up in the house and they the breadwinner at the same time.
Facts.
How you gonna be the breadwinner and come home and get fucked up at the end of the night? Listen, you gotta tighten up, ladies. If that's the case, you gotta tighten up. You gotta get a backbone. You gotta get some strength. You gotta wake up in the morning and pack your shit, and then motherfucker go to 7-Eleven and get a Black and Mild or Swiss Sweet, whatever the fuck they call them bitches. You pack your shit up and get the fuck out of there.
Or get some hot grits. Make them some breakfast.
Fuck their lease. Fuck all that shit. Let that motherfucker sitting right where you at.
Sorry, officer. I'm sorry. Insanity.
Yes.
Look at my eye. Look at my lip.
So that's it. That's CJNC on domestic violence. If you have any comments, please add them. If you disagree with what we had to say, you offended.
Yeah.
Say how you feel, baby. We here for it. You know what I'm saying? Let us know what it is.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe.
Tell a friend.